So I'm holding in my hand what's called a scan grip. This is a high lumens LED light that will show any imperfection in the paint. So I want to show you the imperfections from the repaint to neglect, to bad towels, to car washes. As you can see in the paint, all these little micro marring scratches and little pigtails. We're going to show you the proper speed, technique, and actually pressure when using the new 12.5 dual action polisher. So I'm going to go ahead and select our 5-inch Euro microfiber pad. This is a great pad because it cuts and finishes in one step. As you can see, I've got my finger through the middle to line up, and I'm going to make sure this is securely on there. Now you want to make sure that the edge of the backing plate and the pad are even, because if the backing plate's leaning or bleeding over, this could cause damage to the car. Now this is one of my favorite polishes. We've had this out for more than 4 or 5 years. This is called 2500 One Step. Now this has a cut, a finish polish, and has a little bit of our polymer coating that we used to sell called gloss finish. So this is a great product if you don't want to go through multiple steps. We're going to recommend that you use the EVO 2500 and the microfiber Euro pad. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you proper application, and I'm going to go ahead and put a few beads of product. Now this product in viscosity or thickness is a little thinner than most of the polishes, and there's a reason, because we use a chemical cut, not a hard abrasive in this polish. I'm going to go ahead and just lightly take my finger, rub in a little bit of the product into the pad, so that when I start the machine, I'm going to reduce any slinging of the product onto other parts of the car. So we're going to go ahead and start off at a lower speed to get our coverage first with the 2500, and we're going to start off between a 2 and a 3. Now you always want to make sure that you drape the cord over your shoulder so the cord is not hitting the vehicle, the paint. You don't want to cause any further damage. We're trying to remove the damage. So we're going to go over proper application. As you can see, when starting the machine, I'm always going to make sure that the machine is on the car. It's not running off the car. This is really important because for 2 reasons. One, you don't want to sling product all around the car, all over the car. You also want to make sure that you don't damage the counterweight and gear assembly in this. Now, it wouldn't do it right away, but over a period of time, this is a bad habit. So the power switch is located on top, as you can see right here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on at a low speed between 2 and 3. As you can see, this machine is extremely balanced. I don't have to worry about it getting out of control or taking off from me. As you can see, I'm just going to work a small 2x2 square area. Now, always want to put my left hand over the head, my right hand in the back. The right hand here, okay, is the one that guides. Your left hand is one that pushes and steers. Left to right, overlapping. Now, you can barely see the product on the car, and that's important. You don't need a lot of product. A lot of people think that when polishing that they're going to need a lot of product. But as you can see, the product also works wet. And that's important because lubrication is really important. If you're in a humid climate and you're using a product that flashes off or dries quickly, it's going to cause marring or introduce swirl marks in your paint. The Gloss Enhancer Detail Spray is going to be your friend whether you're doing final wipe down or you're doing inspection on your paint correction, polishing, or detailing work. And you want to make sure that you use a nice, soft, double plush towel because you don't want to introduce scratching or marring into what you just removed in the finish. This is the key. Spray a fine mist. Make sure you inspect the towel that it doesn't have any debris or any contamination caught in it because you don't want to scratch the finish. And you're also going to take a palm in a left back overlapping motion, no circles, okay? We want left to right. And as you can see, the detailer flashes off pretty quick. All right, so we've used our microfiber pad in our 2500, and after doing an inspection on this base coat clear coat on this 33 Plymouth, I noticed in a couple areas there's some deeper imperfections or scratches. So what I want to do is address those with a more aggressive pad and product combination. This is what we go to, the 800 cut and the gray wool pad. So I'm going to go ahead and secure that to the pad. Make sure it's centered and on securely. I am then going to grab our 800 Heavy Cut Plus. Now, this is a mechanical abrasive that I spent 4 or 5 years, and we developed it here at Glossit to go from a cutting action to a finishing action. And this abrasive is a really cool abrasive, whether it's a single stage paint, fiberglass, which it works awesome, or base coat clear coat. So I'm going to go ahead and add the product to the pad. As you can see, I'm putting a little bit more on than I typically would put on a foam pad, but that's because the wool absorbs the material quicker. Again, we're going to start at a 2 to 3 to get my coverage to pull out the deep imperfections that we can still see in the paint. Okay, now I got my coverage. I'm gonna go ahead and up my speed to a 5. Now if you look on our speed dial, 5 is right on borderline of heavy polishing, but I'm gonna use a slower speed first to see if I can pull the imperfections out before I actually increase the speed on the EVO 12.5. I'm gonna put about 10 to 12 pounds of pressure because that pressure equals torque. That torque is gonna help me, along with the dual action movement, remove these heavy scratches out of this finish. Now as you can see, I'm gonna use more of a polishing movement first. And now my arm speed is gonna slow down. As you can see, the machine is working from a left to right, overlapping motion. I'm going to do a quick inspection. Once I know this pattern product combination works for the level of imperfections in this paint, I'm going to go ahead and go to our final step with our Demon Gloss or one of our ceramic coatings. Wow, look at the finish, man. So if you look at the before pictures, as I'm wiping, you can see the deep marring in this finish in this 33 Plymouth, this vintage car. And now when you look into the finish, we're going to go ahead and use our Scan Grip LED light that's going to show any of the imperfections that still might be remaining in the finish.